Is loneliness really bad? Like, is it bad to be lonely, to feel lonely?
It's not bad to feel lonely.
So what is bad about loneliness?
What you do when you are lonely is what makes it bad.
So welcome to Miad Gospel TV Talk Show. My name is Glory. Can I meet you?
I'm Chioma Offiah.
Alright, Chioma Offiah, welcome to today's talk show. We're looking at singlehood and loneliness. We have been trying to relate this to the word singlehood and loneliness. So first of all, can you help us dissect it and explain it individually, like singlehood, and then explain loneliness to the audience? Yes.
Actually, singlehood is a state of being single.
Okay.
Singlehood is a state of being single, and many people associate singlehood with being unmarried.
Okay.
But there are various reasons why someone will be single.
Okay.
And those reasons include either one being divorced, one being widowed, or one being without a romantic partner.
Okay.
And then loneliness is a state of being alone and sad about it at the same time.
Okay.
So there are two different things.
I think you just made me to have another understanding about this singlehood. Yes, you said singlehood, if I get you right, you said it is a state of being single without married. So that's to say you can be married and as well you're single.
No,
is it possible?
I said unmarried.
Okay, unmarried.
Yes,
okay.
Widowed,
divorced,
and being without a romantic partner.
Okay, so can you please throw more light on that? How can you be widowed and you are single? Unmarried, yes, I can accept that of being unmarried. You're unmarried, you're single probably because you don't have a life partner yet. And then being divorced and you're single. Can you please still talk about it?
The divorce,
because probably the divorcee or wherever have actually been married before. So returning back, so that means the person that returned back to singlehood or what? I don't understand. Can you just
exactly. Once you divorce your partner, you're automatically single.
Okay.
Meaning that you can actually go into another relationship. Once you're widowed, you heard the statement, you get to us part.
Okay.
So
alright, so that's to say we have three categories. We have the widows, we have the unmarried, and we also have the
divorce and
yes,
people without a romantic partner.
Okay, so these are the classes of single, whatever.
Single, yes.
Okay. Alright, so there's this saying that life is hard and loneliness makes it even more harder. So can you talk about that? What do they mean by that saying? Life is hard and loneliness makes it even more harder.
Yes, life is actually hard. And the truth is, when you have a good partner,
okay,
when you have a good partner, it makes life easier.
Okay.
You understand? There's this joy knowing that when you come back from work or when you come back from whatever function or activity you went out to do, and then there's someone in the house to tell how your whole day went, to gist about it, someone to tell you, okay, maybe you're having a bad day, someone you can call on the phone to tell that, oh, I'm having a bad day, what can I do about it? Someone that can calm you down, someone who understands you. So that's why they said being alone or being lonely is hard.
Okay.
Yeah, being lonely is hard, but when you have a partner, it's far much easier.
It's much easier.
Yes.
Alright, now talking about loneliness. Life is hard. Loneliness makes it even more harder. Okay. Now you talked about the marriage. You coming back home, meeting someone you can gist with, someone you can always talk to, someone you can call on. Now, don't you think even in marriage, some couples, some spouses are lonely even in marriage?
Yes, very true.
So what could be the cause? What could be the reason behind that?
Because they've lost touch with each other.
Okay. So how do you mean that they've lost touch with each other?
Do you know that right now there are some couples that are just roommates?
Yes.
Exactly.
I agree to that.
Exactly. They are just roommates. In fact, if they even say good morning to each other in the morning, it's even, in fact, they are even lucky. Their relationship is still is still okay compared to what we have right now. Yes. So that's why I said that when you have a good partner, and most people that have lost touch, go and check very well, their communication is poor. You know, most people just, when they're having these butterflies in their tummy, they just feel like, oh, if I don't marry this person, I'll die. I must marry this person. Without understanding that when there is no respect and there is no love, there is no understanding, and you can't compromise for the other person, you're not even making a headway in your marriage.
I think I have some questions relating to this, so we'll get back to that. Let's proceed. And there's another saying that loneliness is not the absence of someone. It's not the absence of another person. It's the absence of yourself. You that is being lonely. Like, I don't know if you get me. Loneliness is not the absence of others,
but it's the absence
of yourself. Now, can you talk about that saying? And now, afterward, I actually wanted to relate it to the previous talk we had about loneliness. Life is hard. Losing touch, your partner, and all that.
Yes.
So just throw light on this.
That's why they said it's a state of being alone.
Okay.
The truth is that someone can have friends, you know, be known in the society as a renowned personality.
Okay.
But deep down, they are lonely.
Okay.
You know, you might be seeing some certain persons as the life of the party, as oh, this person knows everybody, this person is friends with everybody, but deep down the person is actually lonely.
Okay.
And most times loneliness too, another definition for loneliness is the unhappiness felt when someone do not have friends or anyone to talk to. Meaning that someone who is lonely might not actually have friends, or someone who is lonely might have friends, but not necessarily someone they can open up to. Yes.
All right, so that's a good one. Now we have been talking about loneliness. Let's go down to the business of the day. Singlehood and loneliness. That's the topic. All right. So can you tell us for the singles? Remember, you categorized them to be the widows, the divorced, the unmarried, and
those without your romantic partner.
Now, how do you think they can maximize their singlehood?
How they can maximize their singlehood?
Yes, and specifically for those that are married, how can they maximize it? Because some persons, I think loneliness comes to them as a result of not being able to maximize their singlehood.
Exactly.
So that's why they give in to loneliness, not being able to discover themselves. So I think I've given you a little hint on what to say concerning.
Yes.
Alright, so go ahead.
Number one, go to God in prayer.
Okay.
There's this comfort and reassurance. That prayer gives.
Okay.
It gives you this sense of, oh, I'm not alone. I have a father who cares. I have a father that I can talk to. Again, get to know yourself on a deeper level. There's some persons that are not even in relationship with themselves. Let's just start with that.
Okay.
Some people feel their happiness must come from someone else. They don't realize that on you alone as a person, you are responsible for your own happiness. So that's why you see someone go into a relationship and then their partner will tell them that the way you behave, I don't really like it, the way you do these certain things, and they're like, I don't do these certain things, I don't behave in this certain way, because they don't even know themselves. Some people will be like, oh, you don't know your partner. But how can you know your partner when you as an individual, you don't even know yourself? So being single helps you to get to know yourself on a much deeper level. You get to know what are your likes, what are your dislikes. Be open to admit that, oh yes, I'm single, but I'm going to make time for myself. And how can you do that? Get a hobby. Because some people will tell you, what is your hobby? Well, me, I don't know. Now from house to school, from school to church. That's why they say, pick up a hobby. Meaning that, okay, how will you know you don't have a hobby when you're not out going? Do you understand?
Yes,
some people, if they don't press their phone, they feel pressing phone is a hobby. No. What about the field that is just outside your house? When you go to the field, mostly on weekends, you notice that there's a basketball court, there's a tennis court, Why not go there and try and do those things? Or you see your neighbor always playing what? Video games. Why not do it? Doing these little activities actually helps you to know, oh, I think I love doing this, and then you've picked up a hobby. And from there, you will even realize that you are single. A good relationship will naturally just come to you. Instead of, searching out that I want to be in a relationship or putting so much pressure on yourself.
That's a good one. Alright, so you said something about happiness. Your happiness is not tied to someone else, but to yourself. Now, I want to ask, are you really happier as a single, than when you're in a relationship?
You might not necessarily be happier when you're in a relationship, and you might not necessarily be happier when you're single.
Then what?
It depends.
Okay, so what's the differences or the situations or the scenarios?
Okay, fine. If you're happy as an individual, like you try to make yourself happy, as an individual, the chances are when you get into a relationship and someone makes you happy, like someone does things that gives you joy, you're just, will I say, increasing the level of happiness in you. Not that your happiness depends on that person. Like I said, you don't need to be, you're not necessarily happier when you're single, because there are some people that are not in a relationship with themselves. There's some people that have this mindset that, oh, it's until I'm in a relationship that will be happy. So you have to learn as an individual to know how to make yourself to be happy as an individual. And then when you get into a relationship, if the person is a good person, you communicate your likes, your dislike, how you can take the relationship to another level, maybe going on date nights, engaging in chores in the house together, you understand? Just basically creating memories together to just make you and that person happy.
Okay, so I think that's superb. All right, so talking about the marriage, some of them can be single women in marriage. So can you briefly advise those ones? First of all, you've mentioned the reasons why someone can be single, feel lonely while in marriage, rather. So can you give us a cue to that? What do you think they should do? Someone that finds his or herself in that situation, you are married and you still feel lonely. What are those things you should do to come out of such moments?
You mean
as a married?
There's only one person that is feeling the lonely.
It could be from both sides. Like someone is married, it could be from both sides. It could be from one side. This one is I'm feeling lonely even as a married woman. I'm still lonely in my marriage. So what are those things I should do to come out of loneliness?
Okay. After you must have prayed.
Okay.
Talk to your father. Talk to God about your situation. Some people feel prayer is, oh my God, you start to kabash, Holy Ghost fire, everything. Some people don't know that you can be seated here right now and just say, my Lord and my God, this is what I'm passing through. If you know that you communicate more effectively in pidgin, Baba God, see as the thing big. Now beg, I dey beg you. Talk to him like you are talking to your father. Do you understand? And then after that, go for counseling. Very, very important. Because sometimes you feel you know it all. So go for counseling. And then when going for counseling, for you to admit that there is a problem, for you to know that as you know that there is a problem, you need to admit it and accept that, okay, yes, you have a problem. And then when you go for that counseling, ensure you put whatever they tell you to do into practice.
Okay.
Then there are some people that felt closeness when they were always going for date nights. When they were always, when the man is vacation, off work, and then the woman is off work, they plan how their activity for that week will be. It brings some form of closeness, closure. So I would suggest that in that, and when they now get married, everybody is busy, the kids, and they don't do that anymore. So you notice that there is a bridge in communication. There is a distance, even though they are in the same house and they are married. So what they simply need to do is that if you have kids should not be any excuse, because these kids will grow up one day and leave you people, go to their own husband and wife house. So you go to their husband house and as a husband they will have their own house. No be so. So people need to be close.
That's true.
So once just simply take the children to your grandparents' house, you know. So even if it's 2 days, communicate, rekindle that love.
And that's a good one. But now I want to ask, as we wrap up, is loneliness really bad? Like, is it bad to be lonely, to feel lonely?
It's not bad to feel lonely.
So what is bad about loneliness?
What you do when you are lonely is what makes it bad.
So our response to loneliness.
Because I'm sure at some point in our life we felt lonely. Okay. Loneliness doesn't necessarily need to be maybe in terms of relationship. You can be lonely in the sense that maybe take for instance now, maybe when you were in secondary school, academically everybody know you to be a star. You enter the university and then you start having challenges. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
It can trigger loneliness because it's as though every person is happy and doing well for themselves, but you just there. It can bring about loneliness. You start to feel lonely.
Alright, so talking about the singles, you're married, per se. So can you advise them how to get out of this cloud of loneliness? Because we don't know enough of harm. Like some of them has indulged themselves in a lot of things. Some persons, because of the fear of being lonely, they rush into marriages they're not supposed to go into.
Yes.
They involve themselves in a lot of activities they're not supposed to do. You know, it can really cause a lot of harm. So what are your advice, or what is your advice, per se, to those?
Number one, do not allow whatever anybody says to get to you. Very, very important, because being lonely can be so overwhelming, and even the society don't even make it easy.
Like, sorry, let me call it like society be like, you're up to 35, you're up to 30, you're not married.
Exactly.
So how do someone in that state come out of it? You know, that kind of thing alone can lead to depression.
Yes, one thing
how do you come out of it?
Yes, one thing you have to understand is that people will talk. Whether you like it or not, as long as you are alive, you are walking on the road, you're a human being, people will talk. But when people talk, learn to sieve out the negative things. We are human beings. Definitely what this person say, there's every tendency for it to get to you because you have emotions.
Yes.
But for you to survive on this earth, you need to learn to leave it off. That's number one. Then number two, being single helps you to pursue interests.
Okay.
You know, when you're in a relationship, you tend to be like, okay, let me just compromise for the sake of this person, or alter my plans for the sake of this person. But when you're single, you don't need to do those things. So it helps you, even if you want to go out by 6 o'clock, come back by 8. I'm not saying living a wayward life, you know, you can actually spend time doing what you love doing and then come back without having to like, okay, cut down the time because you need to go back home or you need to make plans with someone else. Now another thing, it makes you to be self-dependent. It makes you to understand that, as much as having a partner makes things to be easier, I can actually accomplish some certain things on my own. You understand? Then also engage in community activities. Such as helping out in community service. When they'll be doing what they even call this environmental day, clean up, engage in things like that. Also, you have all these non-government organizations. Maybe they say, they are looking for people who will share food, or who they don't have a car to drive most of the things they want to share in motherless babies home. If you have a car, you can simply tell them, you know what, since it's every Saturday people do this visit, every Saturday I'll make myself available and carry you people to wherever you're going. It's also a service. Some people feel it's until you bring out money, forgetting that your time is very, very important. Do you understand? Also, very important, join social groups. When you join social groups, you have people who check in on you. Like now, if you join social groups such as, okay, let's say for instance in the church, you join a society like the ushers, the choristers. If they don't see you first week, second week, third week, people are likely to call you or come and visit you. That way you feel, oh, at least there are people that care, that know me. Yes. Yeah. Also, it makes you to be able to, be closer to your friends. Most times when you're in a relationship, the tendency of being close to your friends is kind of slim, because it's just you and your partner.
Mm-hmm.
But when there's nobody there, you have more time to spend with your friends. So these are ways that one can actually come out of it.
I must say, this is more than enough.
Right?
Thank you very much, Ms. Chioma. We appreciate your presence here.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. We are grateful. All right, guys. So you've heard it. Singlehood, like she said, is not a shame. It's not a disgrace. You can actually make yourself happy. Your happiness is not tied to anyone out there. So try your personal best to come out of that state of loneliness and hit the streets to make yourself happy. Thank you very much. In our next video. God bless you.